Good morning, everyone. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening, canning, recipes, a little bit of everything. Loving to show you what's going on, loving to show you how to grow your own food, how to preserve your harvest, the different methods that we use to preserve our harvest. And today we're going to can sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is a superfood. That is a term used by the layman, and it signifies that it is very high in antioxidants and certain other minerals and vitamins. So some of the things that sweet potatoes are high in are magnesium, potassium. Some of the vitamins are vitamin K, vitamin B6. It is considered an antioxidant. So we consider it a superfood. It's very high in fiber as well. So this is something, if you did not grow in your garden last year, you want to go ahead and get prepared to grow in your garden this coming spring. I do have some of my smaller potatoes generating shoots, and we're going to try to keep those alive throughout the winter so that we can get us a much bigger harvest next year. This year we harvested about 35 pounds. So I'm going to start with the smaller sweet potatoes, and I'm going to, like I said, preserve some of the larger ones for baking, and I'll show you how I did that. Stay tuned. So here are some of the smaller sweet potatoes. You can see we have some orange ones and we have some purple ones, and what we did after they cured for 3 to 4 weeks, I'd say, we wrapped them up in newspaper, and this keeps them from shooting out. It also keeps them from moisture. It protects them, and guys, from what I understand, if you store it this way and store them properly with newspaper, these things will last a year in a cool, dark, dry space. So we're going to start off with these. I've got about 5 quarts over there because we're going to can them up in quarts, and we'll see what we get. I know I have many more back there that I'm going to go through, but I wanted to show you how we preserve them in the different varieties that we have. We have the purple ones and we have the orange ones. So let's get started. So today we're using the Ball Home Preserving New Edition book, and this is what we're going to use to give us guidance on canning our sweet potatoes. If you didn't have enough sweet potatoes to can, you can also do your regular white potatoes because it takes the same processing time, which is going to be about 4 quart, 90 minutes on about 10 to 11 pounds of pressure. So I have my pressure canner ready. I've just got it on low right now. I have my sweet potatoes. I'm fixing to scrub them up, and I have a pot, and it needs to be stainless steel, no aluminum pans, guys, when you're doing your canning, set aside. And we're just going to boil these a little bit, almost just blanch them, enough to just get the skin off. I don't have a vegetable brush, guys, so I'm just using, I have one of these little green things, and I'm just going to lightly go over it because I really don't want to interrupt the skin. Just want to get the dirt off, the mud off, you know, clean them up as best as you can. Put them in my pot over here. I got my pot there so I can gauge how much water I'm going to need once they start boiling. Now we're doing this. This is going to be so wonderful when my family gets to come Christmas. My sister hopefully is going to get to come from Australia, and I really, really am excited to get her to taste some of my fresh canned veggies and some of my freeze-dried veggies. And anything that we preserved, our jalapenos. She wants to make a sweet chili sauce. I think that we'll make that when she gets here. So we got lots of things going on. Guys, can't emphasize to you more how important it is for you to be gardening and preserving your own food. Now these sweet potatoes will last a long time on that shelf back there. And guys, if we had to, we could live off of them. And you never know. So anyway, we're going to get these cleaned up. We're going to boil, and just enough to get the skins off, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so we have these boiling. These little fingerlings are perfect for canning. You can also bake them, but they're the perfect size for canning because we're going to cut them up in little bite-sized pieces, and we're going to do a hot pack, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt to each of my pint jars. We are not going to add any sugar, just boiling water and kosher salt. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to where these are ready for us to get the skins peeled. I've got me a stainless steel large bowl over to the left that I'll put those in because I have another batch over here that I need to put right in, and then we'll peel them all together and put them in the jar. Got my first batch cooling to the left, and I got another batch in the boiling water. Again, about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the size, guys. If you got smaller fingerling potatoes, then it's not going to take as long. So be sure and keep an eye on it, and you can just run your fingernail over it and see if it's going to come off pretty easy. Now they're still a little hot, guys, but they're not too hot for me to handle. And when I talk about these being high in fiber, you need to see just how beautiful and fibrous, nutritional that these sweet potatoes are. They're just gorgeous. I just can't get over how beautiful and how dense they are for nutrients and minerals and vitamins. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Hi, Chihuahua. I have my first jar. We want to make sure and get all the air bubbles out of it. I'm not going to do this, guys, for all of them. I'm just going to show you how to do the first one. And I'm going to put it in my canner to stay hot as I prepare my others. Now you want to do about 1 inch from the top. You want to give it a 1 inch headspace. Hey, where's my little clippers? Oh, they're over here. Beautiful. So it's going into the canner and it's going to wait for the rest. 4 quarts in, got a little bit more to go. And guys, a while ago I said pints, I meant quarts. Quarts, quarts, quarts. Alright guys, I got 5 quarts, and I would bet you anything I only used about 7 to 8 pounds of those sweet potatoes. So now I'm going to crank this girl up and we're going to see what happens. So if you're a canner, you know the drill. We've cranked the heat up. We're going to let this steam for 10 minutes. Once it starts steaming, you start counting down for 10 minutes, and then you're going to put your weight on top of it, and then you're going to wait for it to get up to 11 pounds, and then you're going to steady your heat, and you're going to maintain that 11 pounds for 90 minutes, because these are quart jars. If they were pints, you would do 70 minutes. So anyway, that's where we're headed now. Once your 90 minutes gets done, then you're going to just simply turn off your heat. You're not going to touch your pressure canner. You're going to leave it alone until this dial gets down to 0, and until this vent back here drops down to the bottom. You don't want to touch it until you have 0 pressure and until that vent drops down, and then you can take them out and let them cool. So I wanted to go ahead and give you all that rundown so I could go ahead and get this video out. So let's go over it again. We're going to wait for this to vent. Once it starts venting, steaming, we are going to let it steam for 10 minutes to remove the excess pressure that's in your pressure canner. Then we're going to replace our weight. Then we're going to let it get up to 10 to 11 pounds. Once it gets up to 10 to 11 pounds, that's when you start your timer, and you start it at 90 minutes. When the 90 minutes is done, you turn off your heat. You simply let it sit until the pressure goes down to 0, and until this vent back here drops back down, and then you take it out. You let it sit for about 24 hours. Then you remove your band, and you make sure that your lid's sealed. You want to do that. You do not want to leave your bands on any canned goods. Anytime you're canning, do not leave the bands on, because it will give you a false sense that maybe it sealed up correctly when it really didn't. So after 24 hours, I'm going to take those bands off. I'm going to lift it up by the lid and make sure it's sealed properly, and it's going to go right back there in my pantry. Thank you guys for watching. We have a lot more videos coming up. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure and share our videos. We have a lot more things coming up. I will be canning some more sweet potatoes probably on Tuesday. I think I'm going to get my pop involved. He enjoys doing this sort of thing, so I'm going to have some more sweet potatoes to can, and we might just dip into some other things. I got some jalapenos back there. Did a great jalapeno video, guys, on canning your jalapenos. Go out and check that out. So lots of great things going on. We'll be in touch. Greg's out there working on that other high tunnel. He has got one side wall framed out. almost, I should say, the post, and he is working on the backside wall. So hopefully we will have that high tunnel covered and ready to plant by this time next week. So our weather has been mild, and we're expecting a cold front around Wednesday. We really want to get things going, and you know, guys, I'm sorry. I know a lot of things should have happened by now, but it just didn't because of life circumstances. But we are back on track again. Take care, God bless, and we will see you soon. Stay tuned.